Hello and welcome back to Scotty Does Stuff. Today we're going to be doing something super fun. We're going to be unboxing a brand new paddleboard from Venture Wild. So let's get into it. First things first, we're going to take a look at the shipping box and we'll see what that's about. So as you can see, we've got some great logos here. This is the Venture Wild logo. Relatively new brand, but great overall. They've done some overlanding stuff in the past and they're relatively new to paddleboards, although these boards have been years in development. So this is a Sierra Flow Elite, and we'll talk more about what that means here in a sec. Maybe while I'm unboxing? I don't know. We'll see. Box is opening. So this is the Venture Wild bag, and this bag is it's camera. This Venture Wild bag is a nice thick rubber piece here. It's all stitched on. Looks good. Looks like it won't tear off easily. That's good. The bag has some pretty solid rollers on it. The bearings feel super good. The wheel material is sort of a hard rubber, so it's not a hard plastic, which I like. That'll make it a lot easier bouncing over stuff on uneven terrain, which every paddleboard launch I've ever seen has uneven terrain. Let's go ahead and open this up. Testing out some new audio today too, so if the audio stinks, let me know and I'll try to fix it. Yep, looks like a bag inside. It's got some tie downs here. I guess that's for the board. Never done one of these, so it's going to be exciting. Looks like we have a pump here. Oh boy, more things to open. If we can do that. More things to open. All right. Looks like a really nice manual high flow pump. The high flow pump, it's got some nice English phrasing here. It says fast system, switch valve, closed position, high capacity, double action. Opening position, high pressure, single action. Hopefully there are instructions, because I don't know if I know what any of that means. Looks like there's a hose. Oh, the tether is very nice. Stuff that's on the top here. This is the tether. Put the knife down, silly, before you cut yourself. Here's your tether. So this tether is super nice, and I'm going to bring this into a little closer on the camera, show that off. So basically, you've got, most of the tethers I've seen are just the outer piece, or the inner piece rather, where it's just that thin. And this has a piece of clear rubber over it, or clear plastic tubing. Not sure what the material is. Feels rubbery, light plastic. It's got a really nice swivel over here so that you're never going to bind up on it. That's great right there. Like that a lot. Likewise over here, you got another swivel on the other end. And maybe that's a standard feature for all boards, but it's not something I've seen on rentals. So I like it. Yep. Looks like, good God. Hook and loop is incredible. So that's going to be good. Heavy D-ring for connecting to the board. So that's good too. I have no idea what this ball is for. Oh, it's for pulling on that so that you can undo the shackle. Oh, wow. Okay, so this goes on the board. This sits there and you can shackle on easily like this, pulling the shackle to release that. Oh, what a system. Okay, so that's going to be fun. Once again, the way I perceive this to work is that this goes onto the paddleboard to lock the D-ring and unlock the strap, the leg strap. You just pull this and then you pop that off. So that'll make it a lot easier. Like you don't have to stand in the water trying to put this part around your ankle and then struggle with all this stuff. You could put it on before you walk out, wrap it up. I don't know how you'd accomplish that. I'll figure it out today. But gosh, that's a nice upgrade. We have one fin. So the Sierra board, the Sierra Flow Elite board is a V-hull design. We'll talk about that in a bit, but it only comes with one fin, single fin, which isn't all bad. Yep. Need the knife again. Huzzah! All right, so now we're through that. Let's go ahead and dig the paddle out. Looks like a 3-part paddle design that goes together like so. I like this because this will really break down quite a bit and make it easy to fit into the bag when you pack it up and store it, because storage is important. You know, you think, oh, a 2-piece paddle, you can just stick that on the roof of your house, or, you know, nail it to the side of your condo, whatever. That's not so great. Maybe that doesn't work for you. Oh, interesting. So this is pretty interesting here. The paddle seems to go in here. Oh, there's an adjuster, or there's a quick release right there. Flips up, flips down, and that cinches up. That cinches up these points here. So it looks like you open that, slide this in, and that's how you adjust the height. And you've got your height adjustments along this rail. Looks like 180, 190, 200, 210, stop, and 220. Stop. So we'll just adjust that to the 210 mark. I think being a 6'7" guy myself, that's actually going to be pretty good for me. So you then clamp this down like so. Yeah, and that holds in there pretty darn good as it is. Now, it also came with this little screwdriver here, a spare screw, and a spare O-ring. I'm not going to open that because I don't need to. But that's how you would take that and adjust these 2 screws here to make it tighter or looser. Maybe those loosen up over time, or just need adjustment of some kind. Then, you know, that's how you do that. All right. So let's get into the actual paddleboard. So this paddleboard is 12 foot 6 inches. May require a couple of move arounds to get it all sorted. But let's get into it. All right, so now we've got, I assume, a paddleboard in here. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's note that this strap, and it's a single strap. If you're like me, you'll forget that in about 4 seconds. A little windy here today, so I'll just start rolling this out and move these out the way. All right, so here we go. Rolling it out. So this is a 12 foot 6 paddleboard. And check this out. What's this rolled up in here? Dude. Okay. No, this is just super cool. Check it out. This came with a patch kit. It's got like it's a repair kit, rather. It says right on it, repair kit. And it looks like it's got some vinyl in the colors that match the board behind me. And there's that. And then it's got this, I don't know what this does yet, but it's a handle of some kind. Maybe can't imagine what it's used for, but boy, we will figure that out. And then we've got repair adhesive. There's quite a bit of it here. Highly flammable, caustic, hazardous to the environment. I'm just going to go with do not eat or drink. Seems legit. Okay, so let's get that shoved back in there in a way that will not cause it problems later on. All right, so let's talk about some of the features of this paddleboard. As you can see, it's a long board. It's a very long board. It's 12 foot 6 inches total length. The purpose of this board is a V-hull, and what that means is that this board will go, it's narrower and more V-shaped at the bottom than the standard board. It's a race board without being a hard board is how it's marketed. So the way that you want to think of this one is that, you know, if you're trying to get into paddleboard racing, you don't want to spend like $2,600 to $3,000 on a paddleboard, or buy a hard board if you still want to go inflatable. What this board will enable you to do is get into racing and enjoy yourself on the water. You sacrifice a little bit of maneuverability at lower speeds, But once you start to plane out and you start going faster, you're just going to keep going faster and faster and faster, and this board is going to handle really well. Again, V shape, and some of the features that I want to note here is that one of the features mainly is that up here on this end of things, my understanding is that some manufacturers will do a hard piece on the nose, and the hard piece on the nose will be kind of a scallop shape, enabling a hardboard-like feel on an inflatable. What they've done over Adventure Wild is they have drop stitched all of this together to maintain the shape, and this is all the high strength PVC. So, or whatever material, this is a PVC, I just popped in my mind, but I don't know if that's correct or not. So, I'll bring this in really close here, hopefully you guys can see. You've got some really good stitching across this, nice overlap, nothing's loose, feels great overall. And it actually looks great too. This is a second design of it. I was skeptical because I really liked the first early designs that I saw, but this is not bad. This looks really good. Yeah, so that's how that works. Now, some things about the stitching that I really dig is that it's all completely encapsulated. One note on that is that this board will pump up to 20 psi, so that's as hard as it can go. You can also go 18 or 16 if you wanted to, but if you want to have a nice super solid board feel, 18 is the way. So let's go ahead and lay this back flat, and I'll point out some other helpful features here. All right, so gear-wise, I'm going to count these as I go because I want to make sure I'm getting them correct. So gear-wise, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tie-down points. So I just ordered a cooler off of Amazon that will hook into these, but that won't arrive until next week because I did the whole single delivery day, which is a good thing, and cashed in on the whole Prime Day thing. So you got plenty of tie-down spaces on this board, plenty of them. So being that it's a V-hull and has more of the tapered nose shape, they elected to locate gear holders back here. And what these are, you've got 2 D-rings. So if you wanted to put more stuff back here closer to yourself, you can certainly do that. And then here in the center of these, you also have a screw-in joint where you can screw accessories into that. So for example, your GoPro can mount there, your other camera mounts can mount in there. You name it, it'll go there. Now, that said, you want to find some way to bring those up a bit if you put something on the front here. Not a problem. I don't know how often people run into that sort of problem, but there it is. The other option, as we move towards the back, well, let's stop in the center here. This is, well, that's nice. And that's soft. Maybe, I don't know how soft it'll stay, but it almost feels felt-like. It's rubbery, but felt like. It's, I don't know what it's called. It's a great piece of material, though. I think that's going to be really easy on the feet on the board. So then we've got a carry handle in the center. Carry handle looks good. The stitching, and this will be some feedback for Venture Wild. Looks like the stitching could be, no, the stitching's fine. There's just a little bit of glue overrun here around the outside. So, and it's just a super tiny little bit, but gosh, that's in there. That's not going anywhere. So that's very solid. And again, here's your beautiful Venture Wild logo, also running up the side here. As we get towards the back of the board, we've got 2 more of those attachment points and another spot for gear here, which is just fantastic because sometimes you don't want to see it up in your face. Then we've got the inflatable. It says inflate stand-up paddleboard, and here it says pressure 20 psi. Caution: the board, deflate the board when it's not in use or exposed to direct sunlight. I don't understand. If you're deflating in direct sunlight, how, I mean, are you going to wait till dark? You have to wait till, I don't know. We're going to learn things today. And one of those things is how long it takes to pump up by hand, because thanks to the miracle of delivery, my pump for this, which is also sold by Venture Wild, which will take this thing up to 20 psi and will inflate a max of 8 boards without needing a brake. Really good pump, which we'll test in another unboxing, has been delayed. And unless it rolls into the driveway while I'm doing this, then we'll be using the hand pump. And I think that'll be instructive for us anyway, so it'll be good. So there we go. It just says Venture Wild on the bottom. Relatively simple bottom design with the sort of tannish brown color there and the greenish color there, blue in the center. I like it. It's simple enough. And what I like most about it is that it doesn't look like the bottom of a seal or something like that a large predatory mammal in the Pacific Northwest, like a whale that eats things and looks like Shamu, is going to get excited about. So that's good news. Let's go pull this over here. So here's your attachment point for the fin. And the fin. Sorry. All right. So this is over seconds in. 0 psi. 30 seconds in. 30 seconds. So lift this thing. So it looks like it's probably more outward. Move this on board. Now she's got 5 seconds. Okay, that's 10 seconds. So 0 psi. 9 seconds in. 0 seconds now. Pop it up on board. Refresh your screen. 2 minutes in. Wow. 7.0. On the gauge. Hook now. All right. Take a short break. Let's do this. Opening position. Opening position. High pressure single stage. So that we're going to blow. So this will be high pressure. We're about 2 now. I need a break. And I'm going to break until the 3 minute mark. We're about 2, 10 to 15 when I do the break. We're about 2 minutes. So here we go. So 2:52. And this is still high pressure. Really good spot. So quick now. Let's break. 4 psi. That's 7 psi. So about it. Okay. Let's go. We're about to get and we can make that patches. Come on, 3 patches. That's 10 halfway there. We're at 4.2. How many do you do? You're about to go over. You're about to 10 minutes, not all that. What's that? Because I can put on YouTube for man. Things like that. Yeah. That's 10 yeah. That's 9 yeah. Right on, we get up. All right, well, something happened. A neighbor of mine stopped by to say hello, and we chatted for a few minutes. I'm now well rested. I did pause the clock at 5 minutes 14 seconds. At that time, we're up at 10 psi. We've been chatting for a few minutes, and we've held steady right about 10 psi. I can hear a small leak coming out of the pump. Sounds like it's right here at this fitting. Not sure if that's by design. Not sure if I crushed something or what's going on there, but, well, we'll keep pumping. I'll hit resume, and away we go. Push. And that's 5.5. And that's making work. And that's underneath now. Okay. That's 15. I think that's good. That's pretty sad. I'm lazy, pretty lazy. Okay. And that's 30 making work. And that's underneath now. Okay. That's 15. I think that's good. That's pretty sad. I'm lazy, pretty lazy. I'm calling it at 7 minutes 42 seconds. So that's about how long it would take to get up to 16 psi, which is very rideable. I can tell you this is absolutely solid. No flex at all in that. And we go ahead and disconnect here. Well, that is violent. Okay. Let's put the phone out of the way. 7 minutes 42 seconds. We'll pull this back. You guys can take a look at the entire paddleboard here, inflated. Not too shabby looking. Not too bad at all. Sorry about the sun transition there. Well, that is an attractive board. Good job, Venture Wild. I like what you've done here. Or do I? No, just kidding. I'm not going to be harsh. Let's see. So, let me note a couple little scratches I'm going to point out here. So, it looks like if you rub it up against the driveway, it'll get some dirt on it. Just, you know, And dirt is the enemy of cleanliness. So there we go. Cleans up well. Whew, okay. So now, the reason I didn't go to a full 20 psi is because that's right, we are going to deflate this guy. Let's try again. So I'm assuming now to deflate, well, that is just noisy. Okay. Also, just gonna say, you know, super good. Boy, there's some glue-like odor on the. Nope, this is not a video where we get stoned off glue. Okay, jokes aside, let's go ahead and push that back in there. Quit screwing around. All right, and we'll let the way that you fold this board up, bringing this back here a bit. Right. So now that we've gotten it hooked up over there, and now we've got that hooked up, and we're able to start draining the air out of here just by stepping on it or lying on it. And I'm betting that we could also hook to the deflate side of this pump, put it back to high volume, and suck the air out of it. So I think that's what we're going to try, because why not? The electric side would do the same exact thing if we had the electric pump today. Thanks, FedEx. Thanks. Right. So we determined previously that the top side of the gauge was out, and this is in. So now we'll go ahead and struggle with this for a moment. Okay, stop being lazy. It ain't threaded with cross threaded, right? So it's fine. And then stick that back in there like so. Now let's see if this does as expected. Seemed to do nothing, which is okay. Let's reconnect that. So one thing I'd say about this hose is that it's very rigid, and that if you turn it too much one way, it'll pop right out of there. So that's something you got to plan for a little bit. Let's see if that sucks any air out of there or not. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, probably doesn't do that. Probably does that. Okay, and then that will go like that. And that. This time we're going to try to keep this a little tighter. You know what else I'm terrible at is folding things and putting them into bags. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. All right, that seems like it could potentially work with the strap. So now we're on attempt 3. And again, this isn't an instruction video, it's an open and closed boxing video. And the difference is that I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm just trying to validate this proof of concept wise for anybody who's ever interested. And boy, did that work. Look at that. Also, the other side does not have a fold over on the stitch, so it can also pop out. So we'll go ahead and push that down, pull this side as tight as we can. All right, now, okay, and this should drop in here like so. I'm in the way, aren't I? Let's get on the side of that So that should drop in here like so. Yep. Okay, that fits. Well, the bag seems big enough. Just gotta have a person who is not challenged with using bags. There we go. Okay, so that's in, out, inflated, deflated. Now we'll stuff everything else in there. Okay, that's the pump. Ankle strap. The clip. Let me look at something. Okay, there's not a pocket on the outside of the bag for the smaller stuff, so just be aware of that. Might be good to have a small bag of your own that you bring along so you don't lose all the little things. I like to stay organized. So what I would do is I would hook this onto something in here, but just for now it's fine. Here's your fin, which we have expertly removed. Patch kit, because you might be a silly man like me and drag your paddleboard across ultra sharp landscaping rocks. And finally, our paddle, which, all right, so paddle doesn't have a super sharp scalp, but is a nice carbon fiber look to it, so that's a good thing. We'll go ahead and press this piece out at the end. Pops apart nice and easy. We'll go ahead and pop this here. If I seem like I'm in a hurry, it's because the camera keeps dying. Yay, GoPro. All right, and boom, just like that. This is what it looks like when everything's inside. So let me go ahead and show you. I managed to fit everything back in without any trouble. On the back, top, you got a nice carry handle there. Whole thing weighs, I'd say, 20 pounds, 18 pounds. It's not too much. Might be more. I don't know. So this is back shoulder straps. I guess you could carry it around that way. Seems to roll smoothly enough. Don't need that in my way anymore. Yeah, it rolls very smoothly. Those rubberized wheels do give it a nice, clean, easy roll. So that's good news. And, well, that's about it for the Venture Wild paddleboard. Next video I'll see you guys in. I'll be out there on the lake, hopefully. Hopefully with my inflator, because I am way too lazy for a regular pump. But who knows, might just have to go for it, because it is a beautiful day here in sunny Western Washington. And I'm going to say, you don't use that phrase too many times in your life, sunny Western Washington, but it is a gorgeous day. It's supposed to be 89 degrees today, and I want to get wet in the water. Thanks for watching.